영어쉐도잉. Two cyclists ride thousands for charity spreading awareness about teenage violence. 2 weeks and 1,500 kilometers through the harsh territory sun were all worth it for this welcome at Darwin High. After Grand Nico was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, his best mate Rick prompted him to get on the bike. August last year I didn't know on bike, so I committed to doing this ride. The friends set out for Alice Springs up the city's highway with little more than their two-wheelers. Today they are alive in Darwin with hundreds and thousands of dollars raised for the Path Clothing Foundation, named after a young Melbourne man killed in a one-punch attack. Nothing ever been the same. For us, for our families, for so many past friends, for communities, for the footy club, for losing pet just broken everyone's heart. So we don't want that happen to anyone else. The proceeds from the ride will be spent helping Darwin teenagers avoid that fate. Today also marks the foreign presentation we've done in Darwin justice. So the high schools right across the Darwin region, just spreading our anti-violence message, something I am kind of concerned of is where people around me and how realistically am I to be attacked. It was definitely a big aside on how I can control my emotion, because I say I'm a violent person, but I don't really what happen if I want to know with my friend. Violence, no matter what form it takes, it's never funny. The two avid cyclists is not ready for a race. Vulnerable? Yeah, I'm not saying. I might be putting my hands again in a big hurry. A ride they will remember. Lillian Rangier, ABC News. What more? Two weeks and 1,500 kilometers through the harsh territory sun were all worth it for this welcome at Darwin High. After Grand Nico was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, his best mate Rick prompted him to get on a bike. August last year I didn't on my bike, so I committed to do this ride. The friends set out from Alice Springs up the Swiss highway with little more than their two-wheelers. Today they are live in Darwin with $120,000 raised for Path Clothing Foundation, named after a young Melbourne man killed in a one-punch attack. Nothing's ever been the same. For us, for our families, for so many past friends, for our community, for footy clubs, for losing pet that broken everyone's heart. So we don't want that happen to anyone else. The proceeds from the ride will be spent helping Darwin teenagers avoid that fate. Today also marks the foreign presentation we've done in Darwin just this week alone. So to high schools right across the Darwin region, just spreading our anti-violence message, something I'm kind of concerned of, like where people around me and how realistically am I to be attacked. It was definitely a big aside how I can control my emotions, because I said I'm not a violent person, but I don't really know what happened if I know to know with my friend. Violence, no matter what form it takes, it's never funny. The two avid cyclists is now ready for rest. Yeah, I must say I might be put my hands up again in a big hurry. A ride that we remember. Really Langia, ABC News. What more? 2 weeks and 1,500 kilometers through the harsh territory sun were all worthy for this welcome at Darwin High. After Grant Nicol was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, his best mate Rick prompted him to get on a bike. I guess last year I didn't even own a bike, so I committed to doing this ride. The friends set out from Alice Spring up the Swiss highway with little more than their two-wheelers. Today they arrived in Darwin with $120,000 raised for Patrolling Foundation, named after a young Melbourne man killed in a one-punch attack. Nothing's ever been the same for us, for our families, for so many past friends, for our communities, for foodie clubs, for losing pets, just broken everyone's heart. So we don't want that to happen to anyone else. The proceeds from the ride will be spent helping Darwin teenagers avoid that fate. Today also marked the 14th presentation we've done in Darwin just this week alone. So to high schools right across the Darwin region, just spreading our anti-violence message, something I'm kind of concerned, something like where people want me and how realistically am I to be attacked. It was definitely big inside, and how I can control my emotion, because I say I'm not a violent person, but I don't really know what happens if I not know with my friend. Violence, no matter what form it take, it never funny. The two avid cyclists is now ready for a rest. I must say, I might be putting my hands up again in a big hurry. Alright, they will remember. Lillian Rankia, ABC News. One more. 2 weeks and 1,500 kilometers through the harsh territory sun were all worth it for this welcome at Darwin High. After Grant Nicol was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, his best mate Rick prompted him to get on a bike. August last year, I didn't know on bike, so I committed to doing it right. The friends set out from Alice Springs up this highway with little more than two-wheelers. Today, they arrived in Darwin with $120,000 raised for Patrolling Foundation, named after a young Melbourne man killed in a one-punch attack. Nothing ever been the same for us, for our families, for so many past friends, for our community, for foodie clubs, for losing pet, just broken everyone's heart. So we don't want that to happen to anyone else. The proceeds from ride will be spent helping Darwin teenagers avoid that fate. Today also marks the 14th presentation we've done in Darwin just this week alone. So to high school right across the Darwin region, just spreading our anti-violence message, something I am kind of concerned something like where people around me and how realistic am I to attack. It was definitely a big insight and how I can control my emotions, because I say I'm not a violent person, but I don't really know what will happen if I want to know with my friend. Violence, no matter what form it takes, it never funny. The two avid cyclists is now ready for a rest. Yeah, I must say, I might be put my hands again in a big hurry. Alright, that we remember. Lillian Langia, ABC News. Lost. 2 weeks and 1,500 kilometers through the harsh territory sun were all worth it for this welcome at Darwin High. After Grant Nicol was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, his best mate Rick prompted him to get on a bike. August last year, I didn't even own a bike, so I committed to doing this right. The friends set out for Alice Spring up the steep highway with little more than their two-wheelers. Today, they arrived in Darwin with $120,000 raised for a pet cloning foundation named after a young Melbourne man killed in a one-punch attack. Nothing's ever been the same for us, for our families, for so many pet friends, for our community, for the foodie clubs, for losing pet just broken everyone's heart. So we don't want that to happen to anyone else. The proceeds from the ride will be spent helping Darwin teenagers avoid that fate. Today also marks the 14th presentation we've done in Darwin just this week alone. So to high schools right across the Darwin region, just spreading out anti-violence message, something I'm kind of concerned of, like where people around me and how realistically to attack. It was definitely big inside, and how I can control my emotion, because I say I'm not a violent person, but I don't really know what happened. If I know to know with my friends, violence no matter what form it takes, it never funny. The two avid cyclists is now ready for a rest. I must say, I might be putting my hands again in a big hurry. Alright, they will remember. Really and Langia, ABC News.